Hey, this is Bethany. Welcome back to my channel, and today, ow, I just hit my knuckle. Can I get through this intro? Today I'm going to be doing a casual, chatty, get ready with me type of video where I do my full face of makeup and I talk about some things that are a little bit new or things that I've only just barely tried, and this can't be a first impressions video because this is the second time I'm filming it. The first time I filmed it, my mic wasn't fully attached and everything I said, everything, even things that were a first impression, are now first impressions no more because all my audio was gone. So I'm refilming that. But this is going to be more chatty about like putting on the makeup, and maybe I'll be chatty about life or whatever, but mostly just casually talking about trying the makeup and giving you all my thoughts. So let's get started. Alright, so let's get started with this video. Just a heads up, this headband is from My Kitsch. They sent it to me like a month or two ago, and it looks like the unicorn blood from Harry Potter, and I thought that was kind of cool. So I look a bit like Bret Michaels. That makes me sad inside. I don't know if you guys remember that show Rock of Love. I used to watch that and Flavor of Love back in like 2007 or 8. Oh my god, that was a mess. Anyways, let's continue. I'm going to be prepping my skin with NYX's Hydratouch Foundation Primer. I just haven't used this for a long time and I've been a bit flaky on my nose, so I wanted to give it a go. Next for foundation, I'm actually going to be trying this Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r foundation in number 100. So this is the palest shade. It does look a little paler than me, almost matching my neck, but people say it oxidizes. I've actually tried this like 3 or 4 times, and every single time I can't get it to work, but I'm going to try again today with this sponge. So the sponge I'm going to be trying with this is from the Juno Co, and I've been trying out some of their products. I've shown it a bit on my Instagram. They are like cheap products. Like, this sponge is $4, and they make products that are kind of like dupe products. But they make like affordable eyelashes and affordable sponges, and thus far I've been trying this a lot. This is a microfiber sponge, so as you can see, it's kind of like fuzzy compared to other beauty blenders. It's got an outer skin of it that's microfiber. And I've been researching this since they sent it to me, basically because it's got this like microfiber skin on it that it will absorb half of the makeup that a beauty blender does. So this supposedly wastes less product than a beauty blender, and because it's got this fuzzy little texture, it's supposed to like make your pores more invisible even better. So I have been trying this. I've actually been digging it, but I'm hoping I will like it with this foundation, so let's give it a try. So when I've seen people use this Fenty foundation, they seem to be using a lot of it. I'm gonna put like a whole glob just for this side of my face so far. Because when I have tried this, it had pretty sheer coverage. That looks really full coverage because I used a lot. So we'll see how I can get it to look with this sponge. It does horribly on my nose, so we will see. It's going on really nicely though, actually, with this sponge. It looked terrible with a brush. Like, I got frustrated messing with it. Dude, this looks really good. Oh my gosh, I'm getting excited because I spent all this money on this foundation. This looks pretty good, I must say. This is the closest a foundation has been to matching my neck right out the gate. Awesome. I'm using a whole pump on each section, which is a lot for me, but it's working well with this sponge. I tried it even with a beauty blender, a Real Techniques one, and like there was no coverage. It took it all away, and my nose looked flaky as hell. Well, my nose is definitely looking better already than it has in other instances. I'm gonna put like half a pump on the forehead here and use this for the rest. I am a little peeved that this foundation didn't work well with other applicator type things. Like, it didn't work with my Sigma brush, my e.l.f. foundation blurring brush. Everything just looked flaky as all get out. Even if I had just done microderm, it was crazy. This is looking really good. I mean, I look like a ghost because my under eyes aren't done. So let's hop to the under eyes for the moment. I'm using this Maybelline Age Rewind Circle Eraser, and this is in the new shade Ivory. So they've only produced like really not correct colors of this, even though I love this formula, and finally they made a paler one. It is quite yellow though. And I will go in with a different concealer to fix the color. And then for my most recent pale concealer I've been loving, I'm using the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer in L1. So this is like a neutral shade that's uber pale, and I don't know if I will ever find a concealer quite this pale anywhere else unless it's the Kat Von D one that's actually white. I freaking love how pale this is. So I'm going in with this sponge and blending all this out on top of the foundation, and it's going really well. In other instances, I was having it literally lift away product, which was pissing me off. I was getting so frustrated. I was just taking off my makeup and starting over again. And I'm so happy this is actually working. By the way, this sponge is damp. Okay, so here it is applied on my face. You can see this is a pretty close match to my neck. It looks a little bit paler just from the combination of using the two palest things ever. But I will give this a minute to oxidize, and I think it will give me a match, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'm gonna hold off on setting this for a bit because this is a mattifying foundation. I wanna see if it kind of sets itself, and if not, I'll set the T-zone. So let's move on to priming the eyelids. For eyeshadow primer, I'm gonna be using this CoverGirl Lid Lockup. I'm gonna be dragging a little bit under the eye too, just because I'm gonna be using shadow down there. And I'm going to be setting that with the translucent powder because this helps me blend out my eyeshadows and it helps everything stay on longer, especially since I have really oily freaking eyelids. For my eyebrows, I'm going to be using this CoverGirl pencil in Soft Blonde. Okay, so to start my makeup, I'm going to be using this Urban Decay Naked Petite Heat palette because it's got mostly matte shades that I can use on my eyes, because my next eyeshadow palette is going to be shimmers. So I'm going to be starting with this shade right here, Hot Spell. I'm going to be taking quite a bit of this eyeshadow on a blending brush. Kind of gently laying down a lot of this color and then diffusing it with little mini circle motions. You all may notice that I wear warm toned eyeshadows on my channel a lot. That's because with cool toned eyeshadows, I look dead. Now I'm picking up a bit of Wild Thing and Heist together. Want a way more intense color back here. And then diffusing that into the first shade. Just blending this out for a bit with a clean brush. Next I'm using this Sigma smudge brush. I'm going to be bringing both of those colors down below the eye 2/3 of the way in. Okay, next I'm going to be hopping over to this Rose Metals palette by Velvet 59. I love the packaging of this palette. I just think it's kind of like Beauty and the Beast meets grunge. I don't know, it's really cute. But it's a gray palette, and then it's got these like metallic drippiness on the rose. Now this palette was sent to me by review because I'm in Octoly, so it's kind of like a store for beauty influencers where you can pick out whatever products you want to review. And this was one I picked because it looked cute, and then the color assortment looked pretty cute to me. Now since I've already tried this, I already know my thoughts on it basically. So I do like these 3 shades here, and this one's underwhelming. So these 2 shades here in this palette let me down. The rest are pretty cool, but let me just give you a few quick swatches. So we got Rose Silver, 22 Karat, Persian Pink, which isn't a pink at all, and then Metallic Rose. So here we go. So that's what they look like. You can see the last 3 look nice and shimmery. The top one is non-existent. Now for the next row, we got Sunstone, Moon Landing, Shikudo, and Passion Flower. So let's swatch these. Alright, so there's what they look like on the hand. That blue just doesn't look impressive to me. Like, it looks more gray than it does in the pan. So it's kind of like they threw in a blue and then kind of wasted it. It just looks like a charcoal gray, which I don't like. But the other shades shimmer quite nicely and they apply quite nicely. So let's get to putting these on our eyes. Okay, so firstly we're going to be dipping into Metallic Rose. And this is going to be my deeper shade on the lid, on the outer portion. We're going to use it on most of the eye. I'm picking up a little bit of it with a shader brush and placing it on the inner upper lid of the eye, like that. Blending that out. Next we're going to be taking a bit of Persian Pink, which is actually a lavender, and we're just going to be popping that on the eyelid. It's kind of like a gray lavender. Next I'm going to be taking the shade Passion Flower. It's a very pale lavender lilac shade. I'm going to be brightening the innermost portion of the eye with this and bringing it over to the lid. Now on the bottom lid, I'm going to be taking Sunstone here. Just placing that on top of the matte eyeshadow. I'm going to be wiping this off with a color switch. Now we're going to be dipping into Shakudo, which looks like a copper pink shade. It kind of reminds me of MAC's Expensive Pink. I feel like a lot of companies have a shade like this, but I love it. It's really beautiful on pale skin and deeper skin tones because it's got like a golden shift to it that looks gorgeous. We'll be going in with a bit of Strike from that Petite Heat palette and balancing the outer end of the eye with some more depth, matte depth that is. Then for liner, I'm going to be using NYX's Epic Ink Liner. Next for lashes, I'm going to be using this set from the Juno Co. Now lashes were just one of the things they sent me that I looked up and I was like, holy crap, this brand is affordable. I think these retail for like $2.99 on their website, so I will link that below. And let's go ahead and put these on. They got that kind of like thicker band on them. And I have one on right now and I can tell you right off the bat, I can definitely feel them. I think I got used to them a bit after I wore them for a few hours, but just a heads up if you're someone who's more sensitive to lashes with like the band, you can feel these when you first put them on. So, I mean, they are $4 or $3 or $4, so that is cheap. And then they do have ones on the website with a clear band that I'll link below, and those ones are like $1 or $2. And I'm excited to actually try those instead. Plus, I just love cheap lashes, so. Next, to make this look more complete, I'm going to be lining my waterline with this shade called Jewel. This definitely helps tie in all these mid-tone to light purples together. This is kind of like a warmer purple shade. I'm also going to be using some mascara on my lower lash line just to make it stand out a little bit, just for a little bit more drama. Okay, so there's the eye look finished. I'm gonna clean up and contour and blush, and I'll be back for lips. Okay, so the last time I filmed this look, I used these OFRA long-lasting liquid lipsticks sent to me by OFRA and Octoly, and this is part of the Vintage Vinyard collection. So instead of me swatching them all over again and putting them on my lips all over again, I'm gonna just show you clips and talk about each one, and then end off with the one that is my favorite on my face. So the first shade is Tuscany, which is described as like a camel nude. It does not translate at all like that on my pale skin. It's much more of a deeper, richer nude pink shade. And I will say that when I applied all of these, it is a very thick formula, which I found to be a bit more tricky to work with, and I don't particularly like the applicator that much. However, once it got on the lips, it was pretty damn beautiful, and I really liked the color. The next shade is called Cape Town, and it's more like a berry wine purple shade, but not quite as dark as the final one. And this shade I loved more than the first one. It was definitely very pretty on, and again, the formula was very thick going on. And this one actually left behind a stain, unlike all the other ones. So I kind of take that as a minus if you're not really wanting to be stained, which I wasn't because I was swatching other things. So I definitely love this color a little bit more than the first one, and I thought it was a beautiful shade. And then the final shade is this deep, rich plum called Bordeaux, and this looks completely, utterly different on me than it does on some medium skin people. When I put it on myself, it almost looks black. I look like a vampire. I kind of love it. But again, all of them had the same consistency, a kind of thicker, a little bit more difficult consistency to work with. And when they did go on, it was a little bit sheer with the first coat, but not bad. You definitely take 2 coats to apply this though. So to finish off the look, I'm gonna mix these 2 deeper shades, Cape Town and Bordeaux, and see how that looks because, I don't know, they're the ones I was digging the most. Maybe light up the middle of my lip with Cape Town. Here's what it looks like with the combination of both of them on. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty hard to apply these because this one had a slightly thinner, easier to work with formula, and these two have like a drier formula. I don't know what the deal is, because I've owned an OFRA lipstick before and I absolutely loved it. I loved how pigmented and glorious the color was. But this color combo, oh my god, I love it. All three of these, I love the colors. Oh, and then one last step, I had to take off my highlighter mostly because I wanted to show you all me trying on this Amrezy Beverly Hills highlighter. I think it's Amrezy. But, so this is what it looks like. It looks like gorgeous folded fabric gold. It's just freaking beautiful. And it looks like it's gonna be really kind of bright. But on some pictures I see it looking really beautiful on medium skin tone girls and deeper skin tones. So I'm just gonna show you all what it looks like on me. So I'm applying that, and that is too dark. Do it very subtly. I think it could look okay. But once I applied it to my nose, it was kind of a giveaway that this is too dark because you can see the bronze in it on top of my skin. There's lipstick on my nose. Are you kidding me? So yeah, it is quite gorgeous, but it is, like, in person, I don't know if it's translating on camera that much, but it is quite a bit dark for me. I would say if you are literally just like 2 shades darker than me, you would love this. 2 shades and beyond, up to the deepest, you would probably love this. But it is still quite beautiful, and in certain lighting it catches and looks fine, but it is too dark for me, unfortunately. So, alright, so that is my finished look using all these products here, and a majority of these were brand new products out on the market. So just to wrap up and give you some of my final thoughts, I believe this Rose Metals palette is around $45, and you get 8 shades in it, and 2 of them are underwhelming. So you would have to weigh out whether $45 for 6 good shades is worth it to you. You do actually get quite a bit of product in each pan, and I do love the packaging on this. And I'll probably definitely revisit these like kind of purple shades and these coppers again, just because I think they're adorable. Because I already have a lot of shades just like this, I think personally I would have passed on it, but if I didn't already have them, I would go for it. If I do have any discounts for these products mentioned, I will link them down below. And I do have some affiliate links if you guys do buy from them. They do help support my channel. I get like a little bit of coin thrown my way if you purchase from my magic links. So just a heads up, I always put those below the video. And then the Urban Decay Naked Petite Heat Palette. This I absolutely do love. I actually own the other little basics palettes they produced years ago, and I'm kind of very excited to see travel size palettes that are cheaper. I think this one is around $27, but if not, I'll put the price up on the screen. And I do think a travel size matte eyeshadow with warm tones in it and a mirror is kind of a necessity to me. I'm actually going to Generation Beauty this month, and this is something I will be taking with me. This Fenty Pro Filt'r foundation, I'm gonna give it some more thorough tries. I've already tried this like 3 or 4 times before, and I was having some skin issues. I know this stuff is a little bit more on the pricey side, so if you guys want like a more thorough review for me, be sure to comment that down below. And then as for these cheap lashes and this affordable $4 sponge from the Juno Co, I'm digging both of these products. Now I'm not really feeling the lashes so much now that they've been on. I would like to try some of their cheaper, thinner band lashes just so, you know, it's easier application with those anyways, and they stay on my tiny little eyes better. These are staying on right now, but you never know. Anything with a band is a little bit of a struggle with me depending on the band. So, and I definitely do dig this sponge, though I think if you have dry skin, you may struggle with it because this sponge feels very drying to foundation. I definitely use it wet to help with that, but I do have a friend who has dry skin that did not like this sponge. I happen to love it. I love it, I think, more than my Real Technique sponge. So, but if you guys want a thorough comparison of this guy versus these guys, and I'll just like section it out on my face, I'm more than happy to do that. I'm just especially excited that this is something that's $4 that I can recommend to you all. So, alright, so those are my finished thoughts on everything new that I've tried on today. Almost everything in this video was new except for like my classics, like my eyeliner. Anyhow, I thank you all so much for watching my videos. Please be sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat if you want to like check out other stuff that I'm posting or see little tidbits of my life and my cats, mainly my cats, and sometimes my fiance. So yeah, either way, this video was pretty fun to do, and I appreciate you all so much for watching. I am so glad to be uploading more consistently, so I will see you very soon next time, and bye-bye.